Now, as the government prepares to announce a series of measures to protect against radicalisation, Prime Minister David Cameron has said he will give his backing to public authorities that put in place proper and sensible rules to ban women from wearing face veils.
But what do you think? Well, here now with their thoughts are TV presenter Saira Khan and journalist Lauren Booth. Welcome both. This is what the Prime Minister said. I think in our country people should be free to wear what they like. What does matter, if, for instance, a school has a particular uniform policy, or when coming into contact with an institution, or you're in court, if you need to be able to see someone's face at the border, then I will always back the authority and institution that have put that in proper place with sensible rules. And you agree?
I absolutely agree. I think as a feminist, as a human rights activist, and also just as a woman, I think that these are sensible measures that most people in this country will welcome.
The one thing you missed out of that list there was as a Muslim.
And as a Muslim, absolutely. But, you know, I think... You know, if you work in a school, at a border agency, in a bank, or, you know, wherever you need to somebody show their identification, I think it is absolutely clear guidance to those people to say, you can see somebody's face, you are given authority to say, I'd like to see your face for identification purposes. And those people that work in those institutions now have clear guidance without feeling scared, without feeling, oh my goodness, I'm a racist, and also without feeling that they've actually insulted somebody's religion, because covering your face in Islam is not a requirement. This is a cultural thing that has been forced onto women.
Can I just ask you then, as a human rights activist, you would understand that it is somebody's right to choose to wear the full face veil then, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, and this is not what the Prime Minister is saying. The Prime Minister is saying is that if you are required in this country to show your face, you are obliged to, because other people have to, for security measures, for whatever reason, for identification. Look, we're living in a country where terrorism and extremism is a real threat, and we have to be accountable for that, and we have to take measures to make sure that we can screen people and people show their faces.
Lauren, is it right to link, because we made a very quick link there between the choice of wearing a full face veil and terrorism? It happened quite fast.
That's exactly it. We just jumped from one thing to the other. One thing that seems very rational, which is the right of agencies to know who's coming into the country, and it's perfectly legitimate that at borders a woman goes into... We're Muslims, we're used to being searched at borders. So you go into a room and you show your face and they say it matches this and you can come in, and it doesn't have to be a public thing. What's wrong with that? In the legal system, you can go and be met by a lawyer or a jurist or head of the jury, and you can show who you are, and that's OK. And then suddenly we make this strange link to that's going to help end extremism. Now, it is this false parallel of this conveyor belt from practicing your face and being modest to extremism that people really in our community, and myself as a Muslim and a woman, I take umbrage to this.
And is that because we just don't know enough? Is that because we're not talking about it, because we don't know enough about the faith and what it actually means and this, that and the other, that we're fearful of it, and it's that fear that then makes people jump to these conclusions?
I actually think it's more than that. I think it's the language of government currently, and I think it's the supported language in the media as well. So if you have David Cameron, for example, let's look at an option where he says, we want to teach all Muslim women English. Great stuff. Who could possibly disagree with that? Get all the women who want to be a part of society, to be able to do homework with their kids. But then to say, in order that they're going to be deported if they don't do it. So what you're talking about is breaking up communities.